Kuzangpalo, you're watching Bhutan This Week with me, Kulauti Kuragai. Our top stories this week. His Holiness the Khenpo administers Guru Tsenge Wa in Punakha. Irregularities of more than 7.5 billion Newton reported between July 2021 and June this year as per latest audit report. More than 90% secure minimum cutoff score in civil service exams, but pass percentage falls by 1.27%. His Holiness the Khenpo has administered Guru Tetheng Ringa Wa and Guru Tsenge Wa in Thangzona in Punakha. Some 10,000 devotees gathered to receive the blessings on Sunday. Around 1,500 monks and nuns from various religious centers in Punakha, including Lam and Lewe of Shung Tasa, also participated in the ceremony. His Holiness the Khenpo is also presiding over the week-long 6th annual Milam Chemo of Punakha. A research by an international group of education experts has found that graduates in Bhutan do not have the knowledge and skills to get a job in the international job market. The Prime Minister shared this at the joint sitting of the Parliament on Thursday while presenting the State of the Nation report. The Prime Minister said this was one of the findings while studying the education quality in one of the colleges in the country.
The State of the Nation report states that a culture of poor coordination among stakeholders such as the Royal University of Bhutan, the Labour Ministry and the Education Ministry has gravely compromised the education quality.
Sherigi pizze minose bine ngachara karegishi kachina mibinae ngachigishibe tuchitsense nahi tuchitsense ani mimidigora luchabe tuso tholo yasubme jeila tani bindigi 명화들이 무책이 다 lecture begop karanale chidi sheri semdi lokchi sun de zenia gutsuda 생각처럼 가르기시라 도림 시스나 유미디스에 다 슐레 네당 같이 좀질로 튀운가 남 같이 좀질로 봐 조고가 아니다 조고비기 남 다디기 조달로 콜로 라차디 가지고 오면서 와진 연투디 대다 뚠뚠지고 오세.
The Prime Minister added that science, technology, engineering and mathematics or STEM subjects are important to improve education quality. According to the report, STEM education is regarded as the lifeline to the future knowledge-based society. With fewer students opting for STEM subjects, the report stated that the trend needs to be reversed. The Prime Minister stated that last year, of the 4,000 seats created in Class 11 for the science stream, only about 3,000 students opted for it, while the Arts and Commerce stream ran out of seats. The Prime Minister also emphasized that a lot of work needs to be done to improve the education quality in the country. As part of introducing new courses and discontinuing irrelevant courses, Sharapsi College will see 3 new programs by 2023. They are Bachelor of Data Science and Data Analytics, Bachelor of Digital Communications and Project Management, and Bachelor of Economics and Political Science. As per the report, TVET and skills development are being promoted as part of mainstream education to create diverse educational pathways. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister also highlighted on the situation of the economy, health, agriculture and employment among others. According to the report, the overall import until September stood at more than 90 billion yoltum and the export stood at less than 30 billion yoltum.
치종디 낭전 배보다 챕들로 뉴쇼이 나가지디 디기 뉴음 잠치 메마시나 치종 같이 배대에서 와진 자칠레 자차 raw material 송대 세션디빙라 낭전디 finish goods 배 마치기 trade deficit 기 삐체디 아티 조수지메 세션디빙라 낭전기 자체기 삐체다 와진 다치 쇼도 준비 마쇼지 사통나주 ngacharanalo invest betubigi achachenalo tenamisimi nangden bebo mi bebodalu damchilu trade deficit dira debara jonigi ngyankachi.
The Prime Minister also said that Bhutan imported electricity paying about 4 nyoltum per unit last year, and during winter, when the country imports electricity, the rate is expected to increase. In the health sector, aside from the Royal Centre for Infectious Diseases at Gidakom, the Prime Minister said construction of fully self-contained permanent quarantine centres with 2,500 beds is underway in southern districts. This is in preparation for future pandemics and infectious disease outbreaks. The report also states about the plan to establish an MBBS college in the country. The Prime Minister also thanked the DSUPs for the continued efforts towards the well-being and development of the country. Kilitim for BBS News.
More than 2 years since the DOR handed over the construction and maintenance of GC roads to the local government, the responsibility is being transferred back. The Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament made the recommendation based on its finding that the local government lacks technical competence and resources to construct and maintain GC roads.
The joint sitting of the Parliament passed the Public Accounts Committee's recommendation today. Although the recommendation drew various opinions from the members, the majority voted in favour of the recommendation. The chairperson of the committee, Ugin Sering, while presenting the recommendation yesterday, said the local government lacked adequate skilled manpower, machines and equipment to carry out timely maintenance, resulting in poor condition of GC roads.
Te netangsu nyam jodi du si shunila sane junlo zori gi churup dang thunki mible tendibe te geo tewagi lamchu junjong thap masubar du si shuni di beule tendi ma chi chochungi geo tewagi lam zotinda junjong hema zumbe lamse lehungi ngobi gi tude pyu I si shunila.
The Department of Surface Transport will be responsible for the construction and maintenance of Georg Center roads. The Department of Surface Transport will be the new department after the merger of the Road Safety and Transport Authority and the Department of Roads in line with the reformation. The responsibility of the maintenance of GC Road was transferred from the Department of Roads to the local government with a reduced maintenance budget from 45,000 Nyaltam to 30,000 Nyaltam per kilometre more than 2 years ago. Kilitim for BBS News.
The National Assembly has once again cancelled the communication allowance for parliamentarians, heads of constitutional offices and other heads along with civil servants. The National Council had recommended the House to reinstate the allowance. The National Assembly adopted Pay Structure Reform Bill of Bhutan last week.
Considering the country's economic situation, the Economic and Finance Committee chairperson said they could not accept the National Council's recommendation to reinstate the communication allowance. Kangzu Minju MP Kinga Pinjor said the total expenditure from giving communications allowance comes to more than 37 million Nyaltam.
Anibe beodalu zamji drupsubigi yubabda te ngachira mangil meba tibik kangil nalu tidi ngachiragi te da khasakhan mijigi mijulenjingi shudo zumbe te ranginale tamba achiri tamba kheminu se te aninale te ngachi debera malegi ngiren phimachu si shudola.
The House also agreed with the committee against reinstating the allowance. While the bill initially retained the allowance, the NA dropped it along with the internet data charges during its third reading. The National Council then reinstated the communications allowance but agreed on cancellation of internet data charges. Meanwhile, the National Assembly agreed with the National Council's recommendation of a new section concerning designated duty vehicles for members of Parliament. According to the new section, MPs shall either be provided a designated duty vehicle each or a one-time vehicle purchase grant along with driver and fuel and maintenance allowances. The government will have the option to choose whether to designate duty vehicles or give the one-time grant along with the allowances. Section 63 of the bill also states that designated duty vehicles shall be given to EX3 position levels and above until reviewed and rationalized by the government. The National Council submitted 12 recommendations on the bill, of which the House accepted all except for reinstating the communications allowance. With this, all 42 members present in the House voted in favor of the bill. The bill will now be submitted for royal assent. Kilitim for BBS News.
The Royal Audit Authority has reported irregularities amounting to more than 7.5 billion newton between July 2021 and June this year. The office launched its annual audit report for 2021 and 2022 on Wednesday.
The irregularities have been divided into three categories, which are fraud and corruption, non-compliance with laws, rules and regulations, and shortfalls, lapses and deficiencies. Shortfalls, lapses and deficiencies accounted for over 72% of the total irregularities, aggregating to almost 5 billion nyatam. The Regional Revenue and Customs Office in Phuentsholing had the highest amount of irregularities, amounting to almost 3 billion nyatam. Likewise, the cases of non-compliance with laws, rules and regulations accounted for 27% of the total irregularities, total to slightly over 2 billion nyatam. The Phuentsholing RRCO office had the highest in this category as well, with 365 million nyatam. Under the fraud and corruption category, it showed irregularities amounting to just over 26 million nyatam. The Jimmy Doji Wanshu National Referral Hospital had the highest amount of irregularities, amounting to 8.4 million nyatam. The RAA says they will continue to seek actions from individuals through regular follow-ups.
Normally, we would say that these kind of observations not necessarily are the fault of the individuals alone, but it is in fact the overall ecosystem that is present in the organization. Firstly, it depends on the tone at the top. Normally, we try and advocate that internal control systems within the organization should be very robust, very persevering, whereby such kind of observations could be stopped.
Meanwhile, as per the report, 121 audit issues from 31 audit reports remains unresolved even after the issuance of court verdicts as of 30th June. For Karmawandi, this is Kezawamo for BBS News.
The Department of Tourism has penalized 24 tourism service providers. The department levied a fine ranging from 10,000 to 300,000 nyatam in line with the Tourism Rules and Regulations 2022. The service providers who were fined for not complying with the new tourism system.
9 non-validated and non-certified hotels were penalized for providing tourist services in violation of the new tourism system. Similarly, 15 tour companies were fined for using the services of such accommodation providers. More than a month ago, the Department of Tourism, in collaboration with relevant stakeholders, conducted random monitoring in Paro, Thimphu and Phuentsholing. As per the new tourism system, it is mandatory for certified tourism service providers to be validated by the Department of Tourism to provide services to tourists. Validation and certification of hotels were taken to validate the readiness of tourism service providers in preparation for the reopening of tourism. As of November, the department has validated and approved more than 170 tourist hotels and about 100 homestays across the country for hosting tourists. The department will conduct similar monitoring in other places. For Ngiduptoji, Tashyangdon for BBS News.
Pet dog owners who fail to register their pets and individuals who feed stray dogs in public places and roadsides will be penalized. The Department of Livestock initiated this to achieve its target of 100% dog sterilization and sustain the dog population in the country. It is also to build safe and clean communities.
As per the initiative, if a person is found with an unregistered pet dog, he or she will be fined 1,000 yaltam. Similarly, failing to restrain pet dogs within their private premises and failing to secure them on a leash while taken to public areas will also be slapped with a fine of 1,000 yaltam respectively. According to the nationwide Accelerated Dog Population Management and Rabies Control Program, a fine of 5,000 yaltam will be levied respectively for those who translocate animals from one place to another, abandon pet animals, fail to abide by animal welfare standards, and feed stray dogs in public places, highways and roadsides.
It is our target to register all the pet dogs in the country. Without enforcement of such strict rules, people will otherwise turn a deaf ear. This is why it is important to initiate such a system in place. We carried out a research and found out that one of the main reasons for the increase in stray dog population is due to pet dogs.
Some of the people BBS talked to welcomed the initiative.
The public will be benefited. The dog owners will take up the responsibility to register their dogs. They will also take proper care of their dogs. I think fines and penalties will benefit the whole country.
When the dogs are kept without proper care, it is risky. If a fine is imposed, people will not feed the dogs everywhere they prefer. As a result, this will reduce the risk for the general public.
Livestock officials added they will strictly inspect to ensure people abide by the rules.
The inspection team will consist of officials from Thomde, Bafra and Livestock. And for other districts, in place of Thomde officials, we will have officials from the district administration. The team will go from place to place inspecting.
He added that of the 100,000 dogs in the country, about 56,000 dogs have been sterilized, including more than 20,000 registered pet dogs. The nationwide Accelerated Dog Population Management and Rabies Control Program, which began last year, will end this month. For Nudib Doji, Kilitim, BBS News.
Manuscripts in the country have generally remained inaccessible as well as vulnerable to damage and destruction, so it has become important to conserve them, which are important cultural heritage. The Lodin Foundation is initiating the digitization of manuscripts to conserve and enhance accessibility to the public.
The team began the project from Semtaka Dzong. They are equipped with mirrorless cameras, high-quality macro lenses and software to ensure natural color replication of the text. According to officials, the project aims to produce nearly 2,000 books using digital photography.
There are two reasons to digitize the manuscripts. The first is for preservation. If a disaster occurs and if it is damaged, it can be reprinted. Secondly, they are in the form of xylographic texts and available only in monasteries, making them inaccessible to scholars and learners. So, this way they can now access these manuscripts.
From 1996 to 2012, the project covered monasteries and dzongs across the country to promote the quality of libraries. We visited places and captured pictures of the manuscripts and biographies not available at the library.
Besides digitizing, the monks will be taught how to access it in future. The text will be also available from the National Library.
We have it all sorted out by the titles, and about 8,000 digitized documents are kept in these boxes. If any interested individual wants to avail these files, they have to come to the library as they won't be available online.
Lodin Foundation, with funding from the British Library through its Endangered Archives program, is carrying out the project. Through the funding, about 40 documents were digitized in the past. Sringdiki for BBS News.
More than 90% of the graduates who sat for this year's Bhutan Civil Service examination have secured the minimum cut-off score. Of the 1,800 candidates who sat for the exam, more than 1,660 scored 50% and above. However, the pass percentage has decreased by 1.27% compared to last year. The Royal Civil Service Commission declared the BCSE results on Wednesday.
In the general category, Sonam Topke, who studied BA in Dzongkha and History from the Royal Thimphu College, topped the exam with 72.72%. And in the technical category, Tashi Norbu from the Jimmy Singh Wanchu School of Law came on top of the list with 83.46%. In the Dzongkha category, Kezang Duba from the College of Language and Cultural Studies scored the highest marks with 82.78%. And with 75.47%, Tsiring Iden with B.Ed Primary from the Paro College of Education topped the B.Ed General category. And finally, in the B.Ed Dzongkha category, Kinga Cheki with B.Ed Dzongkha from the Paro College of Education topped with 69.38%.
I'm really happy with the results I've received today. I would like to thank Kinchusum, His Majesty the King, my parents, teachers, and my friends. I've learned that if we work hard, we will reap the benefits accordingly.
I am very satisfied and happy with the results. I believed that I could do it, and likewise, my teacher, parents and friends had a lot of expectations as well. And I'm happy that my results could align with their expectations. I come from a humble background and was raised by my mother. I'm grateful that even after my father's death, my mother, Shecham Dema, worked hard so that I could continue my education.
I was really overwhelmed, and then I checked the RCSC website, and then there they declared the results. So then only I came to realize that it was really my result, and I was really overwhelmed with the result. All it takes is for you to believe in yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself, no one is going to believe in yourself, and you have to be confident and tackle everything that comes your way.
According to the RCSC, the selection and placement will be based on merit ranking of the BCSE result and the availability of vacancies. The office says there are a total of 651 vacancies this year. Gezang Wangmo for BBS News.
Despite the Health Ministry's initiative of oral self-testing kit services for HIV this year, people are still reluctant to avail of the testing services. The fear of testing positive and the stigma surrounding HIV/AIDS is discouraging people from taking the test. This is according to Ulhaksam, a non-profit organization that works with relevant stakeholders to take action towards effective response to HIV and AIDS and its negative impacts.
The Health Ministry initiated the self-testing kit services in the 6 priority districts with a high prevalence of HIV in June this year. The ministry has yet to evaluate and compile the initiative's results. However, as per Ulhaksam, the number of people turning up for the service is minimal.
HIV test
People do turn up for the tests, but it is quite minimal. This is because people are scared of testing positive. The most common reason is sexual intercourse. People are reluctant to come forward and do the tests.
The main reason why people living with HIV/AIDS are stigmatized is because of society's mentality. If this mentality can be changed, people will be willing to come forward and conduct tests. This would enable people to know the HIV status and conduct timely treatment.
Most of us indulge in sexual activities. I'm testing myself to not only know my HIV status, but also to find out if I have other sexually transmitted diseases. This way, I can seek medical assistance if needed.
HIV/AIDS test
These tests are important because if we test positive, we can receive medication and other services on time. But if we fail to test ourselves on time, it will be too late.
The Health Ministry started the oral self-testing kit services to achieve the national target of ending HIV/AIDS by 2030. Bhutan first detected the HIV case in 1993. According to the Health Ministry, currently there are about 1,300 people living with HIV in the country. HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus, is a virus that weakens the immune system in the body. Tashiangden for BBS News.
That is all we have for this week. Thank you for joining us.